First, we're going to go to Mr. Cabot Martin on line 1. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, Pete. How are you?
Very good.
First-time caller to your show.
High time.
Yes, I am.
What am I, chopped liver?
I usually on go in the morning and afternoons I'm running around, but I was very intrigued by your preamble there this morning, right? And your what seems to be a fair level of frustration trying to understand where Mr. Ed Martin's coming from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, some of the questions are long and circuitous and backtracking, and they sort of, at times, attempt to or are successful, whether he's trying or not, to avoid the actual question that's being asked. And that is, will compensation be due to Nova Scotia, if we're late in getting Muskrat Falls up, etc.? Well,
I think that's pretty clear from both from the wording of the agreements and the reaction out of Nova Scotia. They as far as they're concerned, they don't lose no matter what happens, right?
Well, why is Mr. Daly saying that's not the case? And the Premier saying no, there's no compensation, we won't be out of pocket.
Well, quite frankly, when it comes to Muskrat Falls, I've long, how would I say this as polite as I can? I've long ago stopped trying to reconcile what's been said with what's true, And
okay. Well done.
And I've had that problem with Mr. Martin too on things like the availability of gas in the offshore, right? Which he denies and which is not true. So that part. But I think and I didn't hear it, so I'm sort of. I understand that he, CEO of Melcor, who quite rightly is under fire for what can only be called a series of incompetent decisions with regard to outages, that he is basically coming on and quite very arrogantly saying, it doesn't matter what it costs, it's going ahead anyway, we got you, there's nothing you can do about it. We're home free. Is this what's going on?
Apparently now that the decision has been made, overruns are not really going to have an impact. I mean, how could you, even if the Premier says, when and if it's proven or seen to be not the least cost option, then we review it. Well, to what end? Because obviously by that point, the majority of the money has been committed or spent.
No. That's not how business works at all. I mean, you can contact just about anybody who's experienced in the construction business, and if you cancel the project, if you're into a project that turns out to be the wrong thing and you cancel it, damages to the contractor, successful contractor, no more than 10% of the contract award anyway. Right.
Well, what about these agreements with Nova Scotia? What happens there?
Well, I mean, the problem there is that we've signed an agreement with Nova Scotia to sell Limb Power out of our Beta Spare assets. I mean, that's why they're so snug, is that they're not even physically going to be tied into the Muskrat Falls line. I mean, the line comes from Labrador, goes directly to Soldier's Pond. There's no off-ramp for Nova Scotia. They pick up their power with Beta Spare in Granite Canal. So that's a different issue. And again, that would be more in the area of interprovincial negotiations, very much like we have with Quebec on that deal that we got sandbagged into on the Upper Churchill, right? So that's a different kind of animal altogether. And I think that Nova Scotia, if we were to cancel Muskrat Falls, I think Nova Scotia wouldn't be long canceling the Maritime Link. I think that there are other issues that they would look to federal, interprovincial cooperation. And
then, of course, compensation paid for whatever has been invested to date on that link.
Yeah, but this is such a boondoggle. And, when you get talk of building a megadome over over the powerhouse that, as an afterthought, right? I mean,
very Hollywood, Megadome.
I mean, it's their phrase, right?
Yeah.
It's Nalcor's phrase. But so, I mean, you do not, I mean, as in life, so in business, you never throw good money after bad. And if it costs us $1 billion to get out of this, and we're going to save 10, do it. Cut your losses. I mean, $1
billion on top of what's already been spent.
Quite frankly, if I were Mr. Martin, I'd be keeping my head down now so I wouldn't be fired. I mean, I don't know where reality is going to start creeping into this movie, right? I mean, this. Anyway, I must admit, I should, and I do apologize for not phoning me. I'm more of a listener to your shows, and I appreciate your comments, and I should have phoned it before again. But I don't phone. Sometimes I phone Patty, but Yeah.
Well, listen, I'd like to talk to you again very soon if that suits you. We have to try to squeeze in one last call before we say goodbye today.
Sorry.
Perhaps Monday or Tuesday. I'd love to pick this up and carry it further.
I'll call again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.